High school, days of fun classes, active social life, friends and parties. Sounds like a fairy tale. Exactly, because that's going to be like 10% of your high school life, where all the 90 going to consist of Zoom, coffee, anxiety, and my favorite one, depression. Today, I'm here to help you because I've graduated this year. I went through middle school, high school on my own, and as you can see, I'm almost mentally stable, and I'm still going through some sessions with my therapist just because high school has influenced me not in the best way, and I'm trying to heal some traumas and other problems, and I'm here to share my tips and tricks on how to survive this kind of complicated period in your life, just because it's not going to be easy. It's not like in movies at all. It's not that fun as you think. It's always about studies, gossips, other people talking behind your backs, and that's actually terrible. So yeah, and I'm also here to help you how to keep yourself sane during the entire high school. And moreover, I'm like on almost 100% sure that a couple of years people are still going to have this distance stuff, you know, Zoom, etc. Hello guys, Kate Williams is here with her list of how to survive high school 101. I've been working on that for quite a long time, and hopefully that's going to be useful for you. So I really appreciate if you just leave a comment down below or just a couple of thumbs up. Without further ado, let's get started. And first of all, I like to mention some key points and some things that we're going to discuss today. First things first is social life. Second one, lack of friends. Third one, toxic environment. Fourth one, self-care. And last but not least, studies. Well, let's talk about social life. I always expected that in high school, I'm going to have like hundreds of loyal friends, but that's not true. Actually, you may have some nice classmates and some friends because you think that they are your friends, but they actually talk behind your back. So you have to be careful. Just because I have experienced this kind of situations while I was in bathroom, and I heard some girls talking about me, and then I just, you know, opened the door and they were like, oh shit, here is she. And that was like a traumatic situation, but that's what I learned, not trust people at all. And I'm not talking about like being paranoid, you know, about what you're telling other people. Just bring information like into some kind of doses, and you will see how people are going to react, who they also communicate with, and whether they're worth your trust or not. Also, what I highly don't recommend doing is partying. Why? Because you're starting with, I would say, mentioning that you're not going to drink at all, but high school, the reality of high school is actually that everyone are partying, drinking, and you know, some other things that I'm not actually allowed to mention in the video, but I bet you know what I'm talking about. Thanks God I haven't experienced this, but some of my ex-friends, let's call them like this, they all just started from, I'm going to have like 1 cup of drink, and then they ended up doing, you know what, and now they are, you know, in the rehab and all of this stuff, some of them of course. And that's also the other side of high school. They went from A+ grades to E, and when someone says like, nothing's like going to happen, just chill, you know, we're just going to have some fun, you know, have your border settled. Like if you say no, that means no. But if you have some doubts, trust me, you better just call your mom or dad and say like, please pick me up from this party, or, you know, just call an Uber and just, you know, go away from it, because it's not going to influence on your life in any good way. Moving forward, toxic environment. Wow. I know how it might be hard when you have to separate with your friends just because they found someone else, someone more interested, and you're starting to blame yourself that you're just you're not good enough or anything else. What I'm going to tell you here is that high school, it's actually the time when you have to explore yourself as a person. You have to learn every single trait you have and how you're going to behave or react in some kind of situations. Why? Simply because it's going to help you in the future to understand yourself and find a way in your life. I mean, career, like the surroundings, the friends, and all the relationships and networks. And I know some people choose another paths, like during their high school experience, they communicate with literally everyone, but that doesn't help them because they have like a mix of people who are influencing on them, and eventually their people easily force them to do something that they're not actually desired to do. You know what I'm talking about, like for instance, I don't like some kind of hoodies, but when the entire high school wears them, I was like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. So the exact things happens about like career. To escape this toxic environment, I recommend to read more, some psychology, to communicate with older and more experienced people, and just be like an adult. And I'm not saying that you just have to exclude fun from your life. You just have to indicate and like notice what people are toxic and just get rid of them. People always change, okay? Under certain circumstances, and there is nothing selfish about being focused on yourself. And I'm not talking about narcissism here. I'm talking about normal time when you spend just chilling, finding something new for yourself, new hobbies and other stuff. That is the thing that kind of helped me to escape this toxic environment, just because I have switched to homeschooling and I had some talks behind my back. I just focused on myself, and that really helped me to survive and to pass all of my exams, and I feel so proud of myself that I actually went through this hard and complicated path on my own, almost with no friends, of course. Last but not least, as I said, studies. Don't be so hard on yourself, never. If you have failed some kind of exam, just take it as it should be, I'm not talking about that you have to say like, oh, doesn't matter, that's fine, that's good. I mean, if you know that you did your best, then just forget about that and try to pass this exam again, or try to focus on something else. Here's an interesting detail about my life is that I just, I have my gap year right now, and it's not because I have low scores or something else, no. It's because it's my choice, and you have to be responsible for who you are and why you're making some certain decisions. So, I was pretty, I can't say lazy in high school, but I was learning only that kind of subjects that were actually interesting to me. And I don't really recommend this kind of behavior, but if you're really good, for instance, in English literature, and you can do it like an A+, but you're suck like in math, then I would say yes, do this kind of stuff rather than, like suck in everything. So that was my advice regarding the studies. Just be responsible for your choice. Pay enough attention to the subject you really love. Try to escape phrases that other people tell you. Some of my teachers told me that I'm not good enough for becoming a filmmaker. Some made fun of my YouTube channel. High school is literal hell, but if you're strong enough, you're going to get through this. And I'm here to help you. So if you have some concerns, my DM is always open to new people. I'm really, I will do my best to help you with going through this. I can do part 2. Thank you so much for being here for me. I love you, and see you in the next video next week.